Yes, indeed. Golden Goal is back. Yes, we're back after a exciting, No, never mind. We're not talking about the international break. Well, here we go. We've got a derby in North London, derby somewhere else in London, derby in Manchester, and a derby in East Midlands. Derby weekend, anyone? Let's go.
Kicking way to do so. Can it's him. Back to Balotelli. It runs for Aguero. They've done it!
Hazard still on the ground as Charlie Adam goes for goal here. Oh, and he scored!
And was by Stones. Andrew Townsend! The field a minute. And Aaron Ramsey starts and ends. An immaculate. Trying to find a way through.
Yes, goals galore there. Let's hope for the same this weekend. But first, let's get into the panel. Yes, we're all back. Back after, well, he wasn't even on the last show. The Ab father, Abdi's back.
Yeah, it's been a while. How are you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm good. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. So, one part of Manchester's here. Time for the other. Return of the captain, Captain Jack.
Good evening, people. How are we? Good to be back.
Oh, good, mate. You haven't seen you for a while. Good to have you back on the show.
It's good to be back on.
I thought it can only be, we will get a civilized pairing on the show. From the Arsenal corner, it's George. How's it going?
I'm good, mate. Absolutely buzzing for tomorrow. I'm telling you, I can't wait for it already. It needs to be Saturday.
Ready to go and fighting from the Spurs corner. Leighton back on the show.
Evening, everyone. Yep, looking forward to the North London derby.
Oh yes, and
he sounds scared already, doesn't it?
Nah, nothing scared.
It's like Fury against Joshua. Like I'm Fury.
I can tell in his voice he's quaking.
Let's just see what Arsenal turns up. Hopefully it's the same one that turned up a few months ago at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Well, Rob Holding was determined to get sent
top of the table, mate.
And in the producer's chair, Matt, how's it going?
I'm good, thank you. Finally, all testing negative, so I'm all good to go. Bit of a scare for a few people last weekend after the North London derby, but
seems you picked it up from the Spurs fans.
I don't know where.
There's only 3 of them.
Well, glad to hear you're free of the vids. Yeah. We don't want the vids here.
Yeah, back in. So looking forward to this game this weekend because it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure.
It will be a fascinating one. So why don't we just dive into it? Let's kick off with a slightly important North London derby, shall we? George, Arsenal, top of the table. I mean, the best position you can be really for the North London derby. Can't really be in a better position, can you?
No, to be fair, we've obviously we had that bad result against Man United, and then people would be like, "Oh, they're going to bounce back," and then we smashed Brentford, which, to be fair, I think I said to you, I didn't think we were going to do because we struggled away there last season, but completely dominated that. So, I don't like playing games straight after the international break because you don't know how your players are going to come back. But I think for a good while, we're going to have a North London derby where both teams are actually in form. Like Tottenham are in a bit of decent form. Arsenal
kind of like you being positive about Tottenham there, Jesus.
Well, I've got to be like generalised. Don't ask me tomorrow because there'll be like everything like so. But like they had a really hard game against Leicester, didn't they? So
what I'm saying about Tottenham, they've not played well this season, but they've got results.
That's what I mean as well. Like, I think it'd be like if you go compare it to last season when Arsenal played Spurs at the Emirates. Arsenal wasn't in the greatest of form going into the Emirates game. But it don't matter about form with
goes out the window.
It goes out the window. Like it's like both. Like you could have teams who are in the bottom 3. So it just doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm quite confident, slightly confident with that for Arsenal. The only player we've got out tomorrow is Smith Rowe. So Thomas Partey's back, Zinchenko's back, the guard's back, the big boys. So, and we've got options. I think Jesus is gonna challenge that back four of Tottenham. Oh, sorry, probably be about back eight when it is Conte. So
back three with 2 wing backs.
You will not play a back three at the Emirates, mate. You'll be playing back five. Like, he'll come to stink the place out, take a draw. Personally, that's what I think. That's the way Conte goes. If it was at Spurs, then it's different. Like, it's a different ball game. But what I think with Arsenal's going to be interesting is whether they go Zinchenko or KT at the back. And I feel a bit sorry for Vieira because he's obviously going to drop out for Odegaard. So this one, there's options. Like,
that's a good thing to have.
Yeah, I predicted 3-1 again, and that wasn't me being cocky or too confident. I just think if Arsenal can start how they've started most of their games this season, if we get an early goal like that, the crowd is like Arsenal's 12th man this season, and I just think it'll shell shock Spurs. But we'll just have to wait and see, really. But as long as we win, I don't particularly care. But I do think Tottenham will score.
Well, a win's a win at the end of the day. So, especially in a game like this, in a close game like that. Leighton, let's go to you. I mean, Lego Man, what do you think he's approaching?
He's called Leighton Lego Man. Leighton Lego Man.
No, that's only Antonio Conte reserved nickname.
I've got a few for him.
I'm going to go for a 3-2 Tottenham win. 3-2 Tottenham win. I can see Son scoring. I can see Kane scoring. They usually do against Arsenal. I think they will go for a back three, possibly a back five, back five that can revert to a four when we're attacking. So I could see Perisic starting. I could also see Langley starting. The hard choice that Conte's got to make is in midfield, because I think Oliver Skip is back, so it's going to be a choice of Bentancur, Skip, Højbjerg.
I mean, really? I mean, how good is Oliver Skip, do you think? I mean, to me, I'd put Højbjerg there or Bentancur, both, but
I like Oliver Skip. Last season, all you got to do is look at when Tottenham got humiliated at the Emirates. They never turned up. When Oliver Skip came in at half time, Spurs looked a lot better when Skip came on. He's a box-to-box midfielder, and you need someone that can get back and get stuck in as well. So I would like to see Skip start that.
Okay, well, that's going to be an interesting one. Let's go to a different side then. Abdi, your view on the game. What do we think?
Well, going into it, Arsenal obviously 6 wins. Well, is it 6? 5 wins out of 6. So they've been in good form. They've been playing well since the start of the season. Spurs have been getting the results, as Leighton said, but they just haven't been playing that well. In the last game against Leicester, Son came on, smash and grab the hat trick, just come in, do the damage. But still, like, you look at games like West Ham, you look at games like the Sporting one in the Champions League. I know it's Champions League, but still, they haven't really been putting teams away, bar the Leicester game, really. So going into it, I think Arsenal are the heavy favourites. It's always like that, to be fair, in a North London derby, when it's whoever's the home side usually tends to come out on top, because it's just so fierce from each side. Their fans are just that supportive of them and are the 12th man. Whereas, like, we're going to get into it later, but the Manchester derby is the flip side. It's more like the away side come in and take the victory. But it's going to be a fiery one. It's going to be a feisty one. Do I think it's going to be a smashing for Arsenal or Spurs? I don't think so. I think it's going to. It could be, but I don't think so. I think it's Tottenham are going to be set up defensively. I still think Arsenal will come out on top, but it should be an interesting one, that's for sure.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, Jack, what do you think? Who's
I
gonna
can.
get the better?
No disrespect to Tottenham, but I can only see Arsenal coming out on top. The start they've had, obviously the blip they had against us, but I agree with what's been said. Arsenal supporters will be behind them tomorrow, and they will get Arsenal over the line. I think it will. I think there'll be goals. There'll be plenty of goals. It might be a high-scoring game, actually, but my money's on Arsenal to win that tomorrow. They're in good form.
Yeah, Arsenal so far. Matt, what you going for? I mean, what do you think will happen? You can see what you're going to go for.
Just before I go through this, we've had some comments from our regular Tom.
Hello.
Gone 4-0 on their big day out. Scoring on goal, George. Eye shifty emoji, and then asking Leighton, "Are you producing the DVD?"
All or nothing part 2.
I think it's going to be.
Well, if Richarlison comes off the bench and scores a line-it winner, you never know what might happen.
I think I do. I think there'll be a lot of ambulances being called. Because he's the sort of player to actually cause that as well. He's the sort
and
of player
probably
to
someone's better throw him a dinghy so he can get out of that swimming pool.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the first North London for a while where you're going to have the old 2000s battles everywhere. There's going to probably most likely be a red card on the line for someone.
Lots of
Richarlison.
Is Rob Holding playing?
No, Rob Holding will not be playing.
It's going to be
Granit Xhaka.
Kevin De Xhaka.
More like Gabriel, I'm not going to lie.
Mayhem. I couldn't call it, but if I'm honest, I'm kind of disagreeing with everyone. Everyone seems to think Arsenal. I think it's going to end up being a draw, and I think it's going to be 2-2.
Straight down the middle. There we go. Right. Well, that'll be an interesting one. Sorry to say, I do feel Arsenal will have a win later, and I'm afraid Spurs. It's going to be a close one.
What I will say is, I agree with Abdi. Like Arsenal's weak link is Gabriel. So, like, if Tottenham want to get someone, it is Gabriel. I don't think Arsenal have another weak link in the team at the moment.
Less exciting prediction, but I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal, I think, for that one. Right, move on to the next game. This could be an interesting one, but this fixture has produced some snooze fest, so let me tell you. So, Crystal Palace host Harry Potter's Chelsea. Often a ball fest.
Magic, that, mate.
Well, we'll see about that. Leighton, will it be a magical game or will it be sleepy? Both teams haven't played for a while, so that can go either way. And Conor Gallagher's going back to Selhurst.
It's a tricky one to call. Harry Potter's first Premier League game in charge.
People do realise he knows what Harry Potter does.
Well, I presume they do. Yeah. Yes, I
was just really checking.
Just to reiterate, we are talking about Graham Potter for anyone that doesn't watch Premier League but watches this show.
I was just double checking that Leighton didn't think it was Harry Potter.
Leighton, do you know who we're talking about?
Of course I do.
Good.
Oh, that would have been fun if he said that.
It was one of those 10 managers that was linked to the Spurs job when Mourinho got the sack.
Yeah, run away. Well, what do you think's going to happen then?
I think that might be a draw. And I think I'm gonna go for 1-1 with that one. Both teams will score. Sometimes, as you said, it can be a bit of a boring game. And I expect that trend to continue. Chelsea
Banging
not playing.
draw.
Yeah, Chelsea are not playing particularly well at the moment in the Premier League. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 boring draw.
Well, ball draw, just less ball than a 0-0 draw. Abdi, what do you think?
It's an odd one to try and call, because the only real game that we've seen from Graham Potter was did it finish 1-1 in the end?
Yeah,
Chelsea Salzburg. Yeah. So they had their moments of that game, but some of it still looked like the old Chelsea trying to find their way from where they were with Thomas Tuchel. But I do think after that, from this game onwards, he's had quite a bit of time to work with quite a few of the players that haven't gone on international duty, and then some of the players that are coming back. And I feel like he can implement and fix what's been going wrong with Chelsea, and give a chance to players who are sort of on the outside at the moment. Maybe someone like a Trevor Chalobah, Conor Gallagher might get another chance in there. Aubameyang, I don't know. We'll see if he can be fit and firing again. But I do think Chelsea will come out with the win, and I think Reece James is someone you're going to have to keep an eye on, because the way he probably set up is with the back three and two wing backs. So if he plays Reece James at right wing back, then I think Chelsea have a much better chance of coming out with 3 points in that game than if they played him at centre back. So I'm going to say Chelsea to come out on top on this one. I don't think it'll be. That would be famous last words. I was going to say I don't think it's going to be a boring draw or anything like that, but I still do see Chelsea coming out on top.
Yes, doubts for the game. Kante's back in training, but not fit enough for the game. Cucurella and the chap from Villa, whose name I'm not going to butcher, they are both out. Everyone else is fit to start or feature in one way or another. Jack, what we're going for?
I'm going to say this is going to be a close one, because these games over recent years between Palace and Chelsea at Selhurst have been quite close. I think both teams will score. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I reckon it'll be a 2-2. I'm going. There'll be goals in it, but I think it will be close. And of course, it is Graham Potter's first game as well in the Premier League. So see how he does.
Yes, well, more exciting draw there. George, what do we think?
I do think it'd be tough. I think Chelsea will come back and get the 3 points. To be fair, I agree with Abdi. Reece James, I think he's pivotal, vital to if he plays at right wing back. Then if he knows how to get up the pitch a bit more, like Saka had to teach him against Germany, then he should be all right. I've said it all season. I just don't think Palace have enough attacking threat for me to centre forward wise. They just don't have enough. They don't got the goals up there. The only one they've got is Zaha, really. So I think Harry Potter, I think he'll lead Chelsea and they will slither in to a 2-1 victory.
Good one. I mean, I was going to say they'll grab the golden snitch, but yours is better. I'll have that. Fantastic. Right, there we go. Top that, Matt.
I've been planning that for weeks just to get slithering into a football YouTube show.
Done it pretty well.
I can't Hufflepuff it any longer. So
don't be a goblin about it.
The Green Gots bank is going to be left open, but I think it's going to be Selhurst Park. That's going to be the difference. I think Palace will be trying to make it a fortress. They're 16th at the moment. They played really well all season. It's just a case of getting those goals and shutting up shop. But they'll get there eventually. I think Palace might come out victorious this time. It might be scrappy.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like that to happen, but I just don't see it.
You never know. A new manager bounce could be everything, and it's not a stranger to that.
Eagles ruling at the Palace, eh? All right. Any comments before we move on?
No, that's the last comment was from Tom about the DVD.
Okay, well, we're moving on to the next game. Now, this one will be an interesting one, Abdi. So, Liverpool hosting Brighton under a new manager who, from the Premier League
Brighton.
circles, no one's really heard of as such.
No one really has heard of him. Italian manager, coming into the Premier League. To be fair, Italian managers they do well. They don't do so bad. So I can't remember who it was. I think
I
it was
can't remember his
Souness.
name. Was Roberto?
Roberto
Roberto De
Zerbi.
Serbi, isn't it? Or something?
Yeah, I think Graham Souness said something about him saying, "Oh, he's toast and all this" or something. I can't remember. But
Graham Souness.
he was. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I don't think he will understand the league or whatever it is or something like that." But Graham, how many Italian managers have won the league? 4. How many English managers have won the league? None. So, yeah, Italian managers probably know the league better than English managers. So, I as for how he'll do Brighton, he's got them in a very good position at the moment, taking over from Graham Potter. So I think it's going to be a very tough game to start off with, a big baptism of fire for him. So I know Liverpool are rocky at the moment, and they can be got out, and their confidence is a bit all over the place, wishy-washy. But I think now they've got Thiago back, and that midfield is going to be a little bit more stronger. I do think Liverpool will get the 3 points in this game. I think it's going to be a tough day out for Brighton. They'll still under Graham Potter. I would have favoured Brighton a little bit more because new manager, new ways of playing, new favourites, I guess, and giving other people a chance. But no Graham Potter means it's going to be tough for Brighton, and I think they're going to slip back down the table. Currently in the top 4. It would have been interesting to see what would happen if he had still been at Brighton and Graham Potter at Brighton, but it wouldn't have been in the top 4. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it will be an interesting one, Jack. Liverpool, they're certainly not had it easy this season, but a big game for the new manager at Brighton. What's going to happen?
I think Liverpool will nick it. The Anfield crowd will get behind them, unfortunately. Maybe Brighton will get a new manager bounce, being an Italian. You never know. Not being biased there, but I think Liverpool will just nick that. They're going to start finding their form eventually. Once Darwin eventually adapts to the Premier League, stops headbutting people, getting red cards. But yeah, I think
an evolution, really.
2-1. Hey?
Said it could be an evolution with Darwin.
It could be. Yeah, 2-1.
They will pick up their form. It's because who they've got next weekend.
Who they got next week?
Us.
Oh, yeah, they'll have to then, won't they?
They always pick up their form just before they're about to play us.
Well, it should be interesting. George, where do you see this one going?
I know what people say about Liverpool bouncing back. We don't know what Brighton we're going to see, so it's hard. Apparently he's a bit of a lunatic. I was listening. This Roberto De Serbi.
Yeah.
Apparently he don't take no crap. And I was like,
He's an Italian. What else do you
crap.
expect?
What? That's a surprise. So if old Clippity Klopp gets a bit emotional, Roberto might put him on his arse.
That would be comical.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing that.
You might actually see that going back. You might actually see that in the North London derby, to be fair.
I was going to say with Mikel Arteta and Antonio Conte. Yeah.
Might see Arteta crying again.
Oh, Don Mikel, he don't take no rubbish.
You'll pick up Conte and throw him back to his dugout.
Yeah, probably would. That's a problem.
I don't know how tall Arteta is, but...
But with the Liverpool-Brighton game, I fancy Brighton, to be fair. So, Lallana's still there, isn't he? The Lallana derby.
Yes, he is, actually.
But he don't have to be a coach anymore, does he? So, I think Brighton have done quite well this season. The problem is, last season they were doing well, and they just dropped too many draws and that. But I think people like Pascal Gross and McAllister have been playing really well, and Ischiado. So they've got some really, really good players. So it's not like he's gone in there with a crap squad, is it? So just got to, I suppose he's got to be given time to see what sort of football he plays. I have a friend of mine who supports Brighton. He was saying that they're quite excited and nervous at the same time because of where they don't know much about him. But Liverpool, they've got the players to. Obviously, we all at the start would have said top table would be City and Liverpool, but I don't think they're at that level at the moment. But they could easily get back there. But as I was saying before, like after an international break, it all depends how they come back, doesn't it?
Leighton, where do you see it going finally?
Liverpool have been quite dodgy this season. But as some of you have said, you expect Liverpool to bounce back, and I think they will. But Brighton of the new manager bounce. Never heard of their new manager. There will be goals, and I think there'll be plenty of goals. But I can only see a Liverpool win.
Liverpool win just to complete partially complete the picture. Match, majority win. Are you going for Liverpool or are you going to side with the underdogs?
I'm actually going to say this one's a draw because you never know what you're going to get with Liverpool. And at the moment, with that midfield, I think Brighton will feel a bit more confident. But as George was saying, the Brighton fan, with his Brighton fan friend, if they're feeling nervous but excited, it's a good show because you don't know what you're going to get. And you thought with the way that Brighton have started this season that they would be looking to carry on that form. If they can get a point, I think it's a point well earned, and hopefully it goes well for him.
So you got your mate Jordan; he's back for Liverpool, isn't he?
Matt's favourite player.
Actually, no. You know what? Because it's a bagless stadium now, they can put him in the bin just outside with all the rest of the bags. Because I don't know if you guys know that, but if you do head to Anfield from this season. If you take a bag that's bigger than an A5, then you have to chuck it away.
Why?
Old Trafford, you put it in a bag drop.
Yeah, but Anfield.
Yeah, I better not go Primark shopping before I go.
A lot of stadiums do have that sort of bag policy. I know at Spurs, you can't take any bag that's smaller than A5 as well.
Yeah, but it's still a bit of a bad policy because
big enough size for a sick bag if you're not doing if you do your team.
Just take myself for example. If I'm going down to London for the day, I'm bringing a bag with me. Doesn't matter what size it is. I'm bringing a bag because I'm traveling down.
But if you're not staying over, it's a bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
an interesting one. That one.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that. To be fair,
no,
obviously I know at Arsenal, you're allowed to take bags in. They just search them. Or
does it matter what size the bag is?
No, when we went to one of the games, someone took a suitcase.
What, full of beer?
No, I wish. If that was okay, I would have sat next to him. But there's certain parts in the ground that you can leave your stuff if you want. Like also you can leave it in King's Cross if there's a lock-up thing, but I would never do that. But but the amount of people I know that take sports bags and stuff like that, and they just get searched.
Any comments?
No, we're still on
okay.
the
Let us know your predictions. People put them in the chat. We've got 2 more games. Let's go to the next great derby, and we're going to start with the captain here. Man City versus Man United. Man City not looking the greatest. Man United very much picked up form. You're going to be in the away end, aren't you?
Yeah, I will be. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, anything can happen in a derby. I mean, City's fans might actually get behind them, all 3 of them, that turn up. Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, I'm not. I mean, we've got problems. I suppose we haven't got problems at the back with Maguire not being there, but we got problems up front because Rashford and Martial haven't
Gareth's
trained.
mate.
Huh?
That's Gareth's mate. You're upsetting now, Maguire.
Yeah, well, I'm not sorry, but he's not good enough to play for Man United. We've got problems up front because Martial and Rashford haven't trained all week, so it's going to be
They have.
aging. They haven't.
They've been back in training.
Have they?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe they have. I don't know if they'll feature, but I reckon it'll be the aging Ronnie up front. But we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think Ronaldo will start. To be fair, from what I heard, Ten Hag said they was alright. So.
Okay, might be alright then. But I'm gonna go. I reckon we're gonna nick it 2-1. I'm gonna be optimistic.
2-1 for United. 1 win for United so far. Leighton, where do you think this is heading?
Derbies are always tough to call.
I'm sure I've heard this before on the show.
Man United have not had the best start of the season. City have started better, but again, not the greatest start. It all depends on whether they can keep Erling Haaland quiet. But I think this is going to be a draw, and I'm going to go 3-3.
Jesus, don't do that.
Thriller, wow. Thriller at the empty hat, George?
No. It does make me laugh. Everyone's saying, "Oh, they've got to keep Haaland quiet." There is someone called what's his name? Kevin De Bruyne as well. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him. Pants.
And Foden and Mahrez,
Silva,
and Bernardo. So they've still. You can keep Haaland as quiet as you want, but they've still got some absolute banning players. So.
But if you focus on keeping one player quiet, the others will have more opportunity.
Yeah, and I honestly do think Man United have got a chance of winning. I'm not just saying that to wind the United fans up. I think they're obviously they're in really good form now. They're settled at the back with Varane and Martinez, and I think. Harry Maguire, if he breaks that partnership, then Ten Hag deserves just to be sacked on that. Obviously, with Maguire playing for England, that's a complete different 6-hour show. City defensively can be got at. Defensively, they're not as strong as obviously going forward. So it could be a high score. I don't think it'll be a 3-3. I think it could. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2-1 United. I'd say 2-1 United, or it'll be either 2-1 United or 2-1 City. It won't be a. I don't think it'll be a draw. It don't suit either team the draw. So, for United at the bad start they had, they need to get as many points as they can really, and City can't really afford to slip up.
No, they've slipped up enough times, really. Abdi, what are you going for?
It's going to be a very tasty game, either way. It's been a while since I've seen Man United play in the Premier League. It's been pretty much a whole month.
Long time.
Very long.
Your game got called off, didn't it?
2 games got called off.
2 of them,
we did play in the Europa League, but come on now. Nothing's going to be the same as a Premier League game. It was. So we have in the league last 4 games. We all know the story. 4 wins in a row from there. Defensively solid. Keeping some clean sheets here and there. Conceding very few goals. And just doing what we need to do. The issue, as Jack mentioned, is up front. We haven't been as clinical and scoring as many goals as we could be. In the Arsenal game, we did get 3, but 2 of them were just sucker punches to Arsenal and took them out. And you might need something like that on Sunday with the likes of Rashford and Martial if they're fit enough to start or come off the bench or whatever it is. But it is a positive sign that they're both back in training. Going forward, even if they don't play this weekend, hopefully they have some sort of involvement because we are very light up front at the moment. But as for City, they're still Man City, but they can be got at. You just have to look at some of the results this season. They were 2-0 down at home to Palace. They were 3-1 down at one point to Newcastle. They drew with Villa away. So they're not unbeatable, they're not the same.
Especially if Nake plays.
Yeah, so there's no John Stones, so whoever's going to play for probably Akanji.
And Laporte's doubtful as well.
Yeah, so probably Diaz and Akanji maybe. But it is going to be a very interesting game either way. I do think United have a chance. They always have a chance. I think at this moment in time, United could feasibly beat anyone, but also lose to anyone. It's just the way it goes in football. You never know with these things. So I'm interested to see. I know a lot of people are going to be saying Martinez is going to get bullied by Haaland. I'm interested to see that battle because they have previously both gone up toe to toe last year in the Champions League, but two different teams, Ajax and Dortmund. But this time it's bigger scale, big derby. So it'll be interesting to see that kind of battle, and hopefully we can keep them quiet. But the aim of this game is just to play our game, because we can't focus, as George mentioned, we can't just focus on trying to keep Haaland quiet. Because if you keep Haaland quiet, De Bruyne pops up, Bernardo Silva pops up, Foden pops up, Cancelo pops up. They have too many attacking threats to try and nullify. Jack Grealish, yeah. They have too many attacking threats to try and nullify and focus on one person. So we just have to play our game and try and stop Man City as a team, not Man City as in just stopping Haaland. So yeah, they'll find a way.
I think that's where you could lose the game if your tactics are stop Haaland.
I think Ten Hag is not that naive to just focus on one player.
That's what I mean. Like other managers in the past, probably, but Ten Hag, I think he's got a bit more about him than just stop Erling.
Exactly.
Simple.
Nice and simple, but yeah, I'm backing my boys. I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it might be 2-1 as well. So yeah, I'm going to be backing my boys.
Red Devils for the win, Matt. What we doing? What are we going for?
So I was thinking about this now and just looking and double checking that Man City hadn't played anyone of real quality.
It's their first game.
They've not played anyone of real quality, but they didn't manage a win against the Villa, for example.
Good side.
Yeah.
Good
So
side.
you say that, but even the teams that you would call of not real quality have caused them trouble.
Good side, Villa.
What we're kind of looking at, isn't it, is that are we going to see a United side that in previous weeks where they've been a bit creaky in defence, where they've let in the odd goal and then it's capitulated, or are we going to see a Man City side that have let teams bully them in the first half and then they'll get their acting gear in the second half? It's I think for the neutral, you kind of want it to be a bit of both and just end up in a draw. But unless you're a Scouser or hunting for that top,
I actually want United to win.
Well, yeah, I can
see serious.
Yeah,
because
if Arsenal win, City are right. Yeah, like I'm not even taking the mick either. Like.
Well, yeah, you look at what results suits Arsenal best.
I think Arsenal's in the title race. But at the moment,
at the moment, on table positioning,
we've got 6 weeks left until the World Cup now.
I thought you meant 6 weeks of the season. I take that.
I say that's a short season. What's happened?
So that's the other thing is a lot of these players will be looking at trying to get into those World Cup squads. So they've got to make those extra steps now, and I think we all want to see an entertaining game, and I could see it being like a 2-2 draw, if I'm honest.
Oh, God.
Okay, then.
Breakdown.
Well, here we go. It's got to be all interesting, will it? Right. Moving on to the last.
What do you think?
I was never a fan of Man City, let's be brutally honest. We all know my stand on this.
I thought you liked that.
No. I mean, none of them are anywhere near Chelsea, so that I can't really focus on that positioning. We're far behind everyone else, it seems.
We're actually Chelsea.
Hmm?
Where actually are Chelsea?
I need to have a. Can someone pull up the
I'm
table?
not even saying the piss either. I just
No, actually, I can't remember.
I've got it. They're
think there
seventh
might
at the
be
moment.
six.
Palace for 16th.
They're where?
Where are United? Where are United in the table?
United are 5th.
Hold on,
Yes.
where are Chelsea?
7th.
You Conference League, mate.
Well, no, yeah, I don't know how many points we are behind United, but
2, I think it is, 2 or 3.
Chelsea in the Conference League. I love it.
Yeah, United have 12 at the moment. Chelsea have
2.
10.
Yeah,
2
points.
2 points. Oh well. I'm
Still early in the season, to be fair.
it's very early in the season.
You only
But,
got
yeah.
6 weeks left.
Yeah, 6 weeks. You know what? Let's have it. I'm gonna go 2-1 United. Why not?
Yes,
Why not?
boys.
Why not? Let's have this. All right, so one more game to go. Another derby. When they last met in the FA Cup, Leighton Leicester got absolutely slaughtered, and you have to say, I mean, it's a big game for Steve Cooper in a way as well. But if we have to be honest, I think it's a biggest game for Brendan Rodgers, to be sure.
Yes, definitely. I think if Leicester lose that one, I think Brendan Rodgers gets sacked. Leicester have not been playing well. They're not getting results. They got hammered by us. So I am going to go for a Forest win. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 Forest win.
2-1 to the Sherwood Forest. George, what are you going for?
It's not actually that. I normally with most games I'm like, yeah, bang, call that. But this one I'm struggling with because Forest they bought like 48 players, didn't they?
Yeah, but 50, mate.
Ridiculous.
So
49, can't remember.
yeah, and so the players need to settle. So I just wonder if they're going to have enough time to do it. But Leicester are just absolutely atrocious. Like I will say that Tottenham game, the only reason that score is because of Son's hat trick. Like it wasn't one of them. It wasn't for me. It wasn't one of those games. Like I can't remember what the score was. Now was it 6-2?
6-3.
Yeah.
Was it 6-2? Oh.
No, 6-2.
6-2.
Like for me, it was a 3-2, 4-2 maybe, but not 6. But because I thought Leicester done all right in the first half. But I know what Leighton was saying about Brendan Rodgers. I don't know how he ain't been sacked yet. Like,
Can't afford it.
Pardon?
They can't afford it.
Yeah. So, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to, if they lose again, they're going to keep him, sack him? I really don't know. I feel a bit for him because he hasn't really been given any money to spend in this last summer. I don't know. Obviously, I just noticed the Bayern Munich.
He's also lost.
What's the Bayern Munich score?
Players as well.
4-0 against Leverkusen.
Well, it's Bayern being Bayern.
The only people he really brought in was that defender, and Alex Smithies. Like, that's not the one out of Simpsons. But I think Forest. I think it'll be a draw. But I think if Leicester don't win, I said that I've been saying this every time we do a show. Surely it's Brendan Rodgers' last match. But they've got decent players. Like they shouldn't be where they are. Like they've got Vardy, they've got Tielemans, Maddison. I know that Dewsbury Hall. I know he's young, but he's still a really good player. So I don't know. I'd love to hear from the point of view actually from Leicester, like the media and actually from the club, like what their ambitions are, because they're not really helping Rodgers. Like you hear it in these conferences, like he's so resigned. He knows what's going on. He knew that
he's frustrated with the owners. You can tell that.
And it's just by like coming out and saying like, I haven't got enough.
He's not got much at all.
But
really?
Maybe same voice. Some of those players don't. Maybe they need a different voice. So maybe they if they got rid of him, who are they going to bring in? Deitch.
Yeah, I guess that's one option, but
That's their best option for me.
What we were talking about last time, wasn't it? That you couldn't really name the amount what managers you would go for. You really want to bring
I
someone
can't see Sean Dyche going to Bournemouth personally, but I don't know. I like Leicester. That's the problem. I'm not. They're not one of those teams that really insult me. Really.
no, that's the problem. It's just it's almost sad to see Leicester in this position. Really, if you think about it.
I tell you who they've gone like. They've gone like Blackburn. So when Blackburn won the league in the 90s under
Kenny
Dalglish, yeah. Leighton will remember this because he's a lot older than all of us. So, like Blackburn after that, they really declined. Like over those next few years, and like they was in the Premier League for a few years, but they wasn't nowhere near like Premier League title winners or even UEFA Cup at the time places. Now you got to think like Blackburn are the Premier League champions, and then ended up basically just banging on about loads of chicken.
Yeah,
that's how the decline.
Benke's weren't it?
Yeah, the Benke boys or whatever. But not the Wenger boys, the Benke boys. And then like you look at Leicester, they won the title. That was a shock. Everyone knows that, but it was.
Well, the season after they got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah, and it was amazing to see that. Like as
further
a football
than some
fan.
clubs even get.
Yeah. And then they've even done like they've been in Europa League. I know they've in Conference League as well, but just the level they've struggled to, it's just sad. I mean,
They've dropped to this level very suddenly as well. Because if you think about it,
and if you go through the players, like you look at the players who have moved on from Leicester. So you've got Kante, Mahrez, is it Chilwell?
Maguire.
Yeah, I was.
Does he count?
You've kind of ruined my point now. I was going to say, but yeah, I suppose you can put like they're all international players.
Kante.
Yeah, like so.
Ndidi, is he still there?
Yep, he's still there.
Still there.
You could, like, and that's what I mean. And for Kasper Schmeichel to leave in the summer, then there's issues there because he loved that club. So I just feel sorry for Leicester fans, if I'm honest. But hopefully they can start getting wins and.
What result did you go? What result are you going for in that one?
I said 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Abdi, what do you going for? What do you think?
I think this is the game that Leicester turned things around slowly. I don't know if there's going to be long-term sustained success, but I think short-term it'll be the thing that gets them off the mark with 3 points. But I just think that Forest have that many players at the moment that they're not even performing the way they need to be performing. So I think Leicester at home, yeah, pretty much. You can literally, they literally bought a whole squad. They literally bought a whole squad. That's not even a joke. They actually bought a whole squad.
They actually have. That is true.
They've probably got like 2 different training grounds. Right, this squad on the left, this squad on the right.
V team, A team, mix and match sometimes. Who knows? But yeah, they just got so many people. It's like a giant puzzle that they're trying to put together, and they've kind of lost that spark that made them what they were in the Championship, where there's too many people now that came in. Like if they brought, I know they needed an upgrade in terms of the squad that they had. They weren't Premier League level, but they brought way too many people. And if it works for them, fair play. But if it doesn't work for them, oh boy, that's a lot of money that you've invested. So yeah, they're literally in the top 10 spenders in all of Europe. You know, they're up there with the big boys. So yeah, but I do think Leicester is gonna be the game where they get the 3 points by hook or by crook. We'll see. But if I wouldn't be surprised if Forest got a win, but I am backing Leicester. I feel bad for Brendan Rodgers. He has been dealt a poop hand. But yeah, it is what it is. You have to just get on with it at this point, unfortunately. The season, transfer window's closed, season has gone far in the way now, and you just need to pick up as many points as you can and try and avoid the drop. I know it's too early to be saying Leicester are going to go down. It's way too early to be saying any team's going to be doing anything, because up until January, December time of last year, everyone was so certain that Newcastle going down. But just shows how things can change quickly in the Premier League as well, So yeah, I'm going to back Leicester on this one.
Backing the Foxes. I do like the forest sound effects in the background. Whoever someone's got, I can hear some owls and some wolves in there. It's someone's background. It's quite atmospheric. Really talking about forest.
It's really windy here. Like it might be the trees blowing or something. There's definitely no owls or wolves.
No, I'm sure someone's got that in the background. I can hear. Leighton might be you.
Yeah, it might be.
He only lives in Edmonton. He don't live in like Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I've got Night Manager running in the background.
Oh, you're hunting in the He's hunting in the forest. They must have good signal in that dark forest if you can be on the show at the same time. Jack, what we're going with?
I'm going to have to go for Forest. Unfortunately, I just don't think Leicester have got any sort of rhythm about them at the minute. They just look flat. I mean, where's Vardy been all season? I know it's early still, but he normally hits the ground running.
She lost a little cry case.
He's just once he's finished crying over Colleen Rooney or whatever. But
Colin?
Yeah.
Colin Rooney?
Colleen!
This is a shock. This is a story we've not heard. When did she do this?
Golden goal, breaking loose. Colin Rooney.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to back Forest, unfortunately. I'm going to go 2-1 Forest. I think Leicester will score, but...
That's up there with an Austin comment.
I know. I can't even remember what that was. Was it who was in the Milan
derby? Yeah. Well,
what I will say on Leicester and Forest is that Forest, they've literally been just dropping leads. Like they played Bournemouth, they took a 2-0 lead, and they conceded 3 to Bournemouth. So, and whereas Leicester, they score goals, but they just can't defend. They just ship a lot of goals. So, they scored 2 against Tottenham, conceded 6. Scored 2 against Brighton, conceded 5. It's just a story. Scored 2 against Arsenal, conceded 4. It's just the story of their season. They scored, was it 2 against Leicester? Not Leicester, that's themselves. Scored 2 against Brentford in the opening game of the season and conceded 2. Finished 2-2. Yeah, and that's the only point they got this whole season. The only game where they didn't really score is
was us.
And didn't concede was us. Yeah, 1-0. So
they scored 1 against us, but conceded 2.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go 2-2 for that one. I think it's gonna be a thrilling draw. Desmond Tutu.
Colin Rooney.
Colin.
I can't go.
We need to put that in. We need to change the show title. The derbies and Colin Rooney. Anyway, Matt, what do you think's gonna happen?
Jack's gone completely now. I think you all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Brendan Rodgers, and he's just
But he's a beautiful human being.
Yeah, beautiful
human being. The life out of the club, and he's basically a copycat manager. Anything that worked well in the previous manager, he copies it and just carries it on. He's got no original ideas, and it doesn't really get him that far. So
don't have no punches.
No.
Yeah, just
don't mess around.
Honestly, when I look at Leicester, so I was at Leicester last night in WSL. The women's team have got an amazing group of players, and the way they have that camaraderie with their manager is amazing, and they bring this amazing thing. But just Leicester do not have an identity anybody will score. now. It just seems to be we'll score one or two, but we'll let you score double. So it is going to be a bottom of the table clash, Forest versus Leicester. I think Leicester are just running out of time until Rodgers. I know George was asking about. He's asking when Rodgers will eventually get sacked. Rodgers is actually saying in his press conference that he's got the backing from the owners. I don't think he has.
I'm surprised he's still here. I said that he'll leave in this international break, so I was surprised.
Yeah, I thought that's when he would go, to be honest.
If it's a case of money or if it's a case of getting someone in, again, who do you bring in? If you want that sustainability, you go for Sean Dyche.
You have to look at Sean Dyche, in my opinion.
Then if you'd see where their ambition is with who they named as a new manager. If they name someone who's like in the Championship, then you know that they think they're going down. But if they brought in someone like Daichi or...
I was going to say Rafa Benitez. I think Rafa Benitez would bring a lot.
Don't forget Big Sam. He's still available.
Yeah, Big Fat Sam. You obviously got Boris. But no, if they brought Daichi in, I think that shows that they think they can still stay up. But they haven't really got that long. Like they've got a few. What is it? How many games is it? Is it about 5 or 6 till we break for the World Cup?
6, I think.
8. About 8.
8, 6, 8.
Okay,
6 weeks till the end of the season.
Games, so
some of us got 10 or whatever.
8 games in. To say they got 4 or 5. Yeah, they'd want to be trying to get at least minimum for me 3 victories and a draw out of them if they want to try and stay up. But I don't think Brendan Rodgers will be here by the end of the 8 games.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's gone when the World Cup starts. Any comments before we close?
I think Forest are going to win this one.
Forest win. What's the score?
You know what? It could be one of those games where it could end up being like a ridiculous nil, like 9-6 or something like that.
I mean, I would love that on a Monday night.
Maybe I should put Williams back in.
Yeah. What would that be on a Monday night?
Oh, that's the other thing as well. Danny Ward's just been terrible this season as well.
Oh, he's shocking.
Terrible. Absolutely.
I feel sorry for him though, because he's just been thrown in the deep end.
No, they didn't get anyone to replace Michael, did they?
No. And the most he's played is Championship football, and he's a Welsh international goalkeeper, but playing for Wales and playing in the Premier League regularly as a goalkeeper at a team who's going to be facing a hell of a lot of shots is quite
Plus,
daunting.
when it comes to keepers as well, it also features who you've got around you, really. So,
yeah, and look at that defence. That's shocking. Like, I'm not being...
That's not a stellar defence, really, if you think about it.
So I do feel sorry for him a little bit. And I feel sorry a little bit for Vardy. Because everyone expects him to be banging in the 10, 15, 20 goals he was. But
Madison's not even doing his
Jamie Vardy is not that Jamie Vardy anymore.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
He can still do it easy.
He can do it.
He literally can do it without people actually watching and noticing him. He's that kind of player that would just go, couple goals here, couple goals there, couple goals there.
You just
won't notice, and then you'll just be like, how many goals has Vardy scored? 10? Like last season, kid's already scored 9. He was injured for most of the season, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I meant. Like, but with his injury problems, I think that's what's affecting him more than the actual age part of it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they bounce back.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big weekend of derbies. Matt, any comments before we close out?
That's it.
Okay.
Just no comments.
Right. Well, let's first of all go around the table. Abdi, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at aabdullahi26 at AABDULLAHI26.
Very well rehearsed. George, where can people find you?
You can find me at Clockend George, and sometimes on Arsenal Fans Forever as well.
And any other YouTube channels. Jack, do you have Twitter?
Yes, I'm back on. You can find me at UnitedFan58. That's my Twitter.
Fantastic. Leighton the York Hunter in the Dark Forest, where can people find you? Have you got Twitter?
I'm not on social media.
Okay, that's...
You can find him at
Probably safer, really,
Yeah,
after the
crying bit when
after the
Tottenham
Tottenham
lose.
games. Matt, where are you on Twitter?
At MattLR28.
Fantastic. And you can follow me on at Subsonics UK. That's SUBSONIX UK. And you can find us, of course, everywhere else. We've got the Facebook group. That's back on. Look out for score predictions and activities of all sorts. You can follow us on at Golden Goal TV on the Twitter machine. We've got WhatsApp as well. So if you want to join that, you can get in touch with us. And most importantly, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell to receive notifications. You want to know when the next show is. You want to know when the Derby Fallout's happening. By the way, it's happening on Monday. But you want to be notified about it. So get to them buttons. And thank you to everyone. And Colin Rooney as well. We'll see you on Monday.
God, you got it.
Come on, United.